My name is Alan Barratt and I am privileged to be the chair of Status Grow, which is a community allotment association, and our theme is we're going to be cropping all over the world.
Excuse me, we already had that this morning.
Cropping all over This is Jane FAYRE, and Jane is the driving force behind the actual movement of Status Grow, and she's going to tell you more about how it came about.
Hi everyone. This time last year there was a brilliant event on at Staff's Uni, and people were asked to stand up and talk if they got an idea, and we were talking about food banks and the need for a food bank in this area, and luckily another group have come on board and there's a fantastic food bank started up, and that you're going to be hearing about that a bit later. But coming out of the idea of food banks, we thought, well, food banks supply dried, tinned food for the people in emergency need. We want to supply fresh fruit, fresh vegetables for people in emergency need. We've started with a place up at Silverdale, and so whilst we are Status Grow, we're not just Stoke-on-Trent, we want to
Crop all over the world. That was my cue, I missed it.
Yes, you did. Have a shot for that one. And so the idea is we take unadopted, unused waste lands. If you look out the windows now, you can see patch, patch, patch all over the place. They should be growing food for people who need it. We've got raised beds, we've got people, community groups getting involved, getting on side, wanting to grow. But we need to utilise and pull people together. There are so many groups in the area that are doing this sort of thing, all going to people and saying, have you got any wood you don't want? Have you got any compost you don't want? So if we all pull together, we can be saying, we've got wood, we've got compost, can you use it in Silverdale? Can you use it in Leek or Burslem, Tunstall, anywhere? But we're all working together. Now, we've taken the example of people out there doing this sort of work. Many of you will have heard of Incredible Edibles. It's based in Todmorden, which is in Yorkshire, Lancashire, and we've got funding and we're going. What they've done there is every bit of land. They've got a catchphrase, and I think I'm going to steal it. If you eat, you're in. So if you eat, you can be part of what we're doing in this area. And so we're going to be going up there in November to have a look what they're doing, pull some of their ideas, bring them down to North Staffs and start rolling this out. We've got funding. We're going to be running a willow weaving course. So if you're involved with a school, you want to learn how to do willow weaving, come to us, we're running a course. We want to run a course on what you want to grow this month in your garden. We need somebody who's got lots of expertise. We've got the funding waiting for us, but we just haven't got the person who can run the course, who can stand there and say, this month you need to be planting radishes, or have you thought about building a bird box, etc., etc. We've got the land, we need the people. That's getting a bit of a catchphrase, I think. So, that we are Status Grow, and we want you to come and get involved in what we're doing. We've got the first plot of land at Silverdale, as I've said, and we're very, very grateful to the people up at Cornerstone. They've given us the land and they said, well, if you grow anything, which we haven't done this year, everything I've planted has died. So if you're a good gardener, come and join us, we need the people. So we've got another plot of land coming on board in Notton. We've been offered land all over the place. But again, we want the groups to get involved. We want it so that the whole of the area, Newcastle, Stoke, on Trent, even up into Leek, we all want to be pulling together. Do what you do, but let us support you in doing it, and you support us. There's Farm to Grow, doing brilliant work up in the Moorlands. And there's Airspace Gallery, they're doing brilliant work in the middle of Hanley. So let's all get together and let's start growing things and feeding people. That's what we need to do. Turn back to Alan.
Jane asked me to come on board because I've got my own allotments, and you'd think, well, there's an expert who knows what he's doing. Think again. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing with my allotment. Every land is different, and you need to know what's the acidity and the alkalinity of the soil and things like that. And you need somebody on board who is going to be able to say to the general public, in terms that they understand, this is what we need to do today. Holding people to ransom and saying, you will do it, is entirely the wrong approach. Asking people to be involved in their local communities, to turn around and say, this is for your benefit. Get the schools involved, get the Brownies and the Cubs and whoever else involved. We've already had a wonderful, what were they called? The Prince's Trust Volunteers. Fabulous. They came along and helped us for 2 weeks. And it was their work, because obviously I've got a full-time job as well. And it was their work during the daytime when I couldn't be there, helping us to build the raised beds. If you get the community involved, the community owns a project. If the community owns a project, the project will stay. We've already been offered a piece of land just outside this building. Unfortunately, sadly, it's not suitable for what we need. However, the generosity of that offer remains a very pleasing aspect. We can get the local councils involved, and they are willing to come on board. We have to have a start. We've had a start, not particularly brilliantly successful start in Silverdale. Sadly, somebody's over-enthusiasm spoiled the crop, but that's okay. At least they were enthusiastic, you know. That's why we need the expert. Status quo, cropping all over the world, here to stay. Thank you very much.